Hello YouTube, Red Demon here again with another video. This one's something new-ish for the channel, definitely new for the channel. I've been playing it for a few weeks now. Got a couple hours into it and started liking it. It's called Warframe. I got stat-wise of almost 230 hours into it. Down here you'll see it where it says time played. 230 hours into it. It's decent game, but today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to do starter warframes. Yeah, he's a little on the shiny side because he is my starter warframe, the one I originally started with. But I couldn't find my original melee weapon, which was actually the bow. It's not the bow, the B-O, not B-O-W, which is a staff. So I couldn't find that. I think I got rid of it at some point. So he has a mastery rank 3 weapons on. So just so you know, it's higher rank back weapons, melee weapons. But I'm going to teach you how to modify your characters at the beginning of the game, and also how to early on get you through the actual gameplay, what mods to look for, and what mods you can get yourself without having to, be too stressed out, and you don't have to worry about paying plat for to gain. So let's go in here and let's show you how to modify your character from the start. And I'm gonna also use a mag build and a Volt setup to teach you how to do it. Now, when you get your character, again, I'm gonna say this right off the bat, he has been ranked up 3 times, 230. So the stats are going to be a little different for you when you first start. You're not going to have much up here. You're not going to have 60 until you're going to have 30 capacity instead of 60, because the other reason is I also have the Orokin reactor purchased for this character. So that gives me an additional 30. So it doubles up what's already there at your max rank of 30, which is up here. These 2 slots, you're not going to have need for them right off the bat unless if somebody's willing enough to give you an aura slot. This one is pretty much going to be waiting for a while. I will show you how to get those. This one is not going to be used right off the bat. You're going to have to wait until you can get up there where you're able to hold yourself up, and then you can get like power drift, coaction drift. Let's see what some of the other ones are. Okay, so you can get like, power drift, coaction drift. You can get hacking, or intruder is for hacking. That comes out early on in the game. Heavy impact, again, early on in the game. Later in the game for this one. You can get a lot of these. There's a lot of these. Most of the gold ones you see are endgame. Not really endgame. Let me rephrase that. They're middle gameplay. They're like about midway through, unless if somebody will take you to the location to get them. You have to do puzzles to get the drift mods. So anything that has the word drift on them, coaction drift, power drift, cunning drift, and there's 2 other ones as well that have the word drift in them. Those you have to get from puzzle rooms. So we're not going to worry on those at all either, because you won't have those at the beginning of the game. The first few mods you will get your hands on at the beginning of the game is going to be stretch, which is this one here, which is going to increase your ability range by 7.5%. You're going to get redirection, but you're going to get a lower redirection at first. You're going to get ones called flawed. So you see down here right above where it says Warframe, you're going to, right below where it says 40% shield capacity, right above Warframe, it'll say in black letters flawed. I'll show you in a minute what I mean by that. As you see right here, this is a flawed mod. It'll say right there, it'll say steel fiber flawed armor, percentage of armor Warframe. That's a flawed mod. Those two you definitely get early on in the game. Granted, I have mine modded up a little bit. And then Vitality. You'll also get this one at the beginning of the game. This is a good starting point for your character. Don't worry about these little emblems here, because you're not going to have those at the beginning. I actually had to roll this guy a pretty good bit to get him to be able to have those. Which in a later video I'll teach you what that means and how to do it. But that depends on how this video goes, if I'm going to, upload that one. But I will put that in another video, how to do the different icons to match up with your cards. Like you got the D here, you got the Y here, and there's also a dash, which is like, see if I can find the dash real fast. There's a lot of, there we go. Stretch actually has the dash. So if you look by the number 4 at the top right there of that card that I have highlighted, it'll say 4 and then the emblem that needs to be on the slot for you to place it in there. By placing the card in that slot, it takes the amount that it costs down so that it gives you more slots. But what happens here is now I have more health and more armor, and I have more shield, which is a good starting point for you when you're first getting through to unlock your ship. As you're playing, you'll unlock parts of your ship, so you'll be doing missions. So the first time you show up on your ship, you'll actually unlock down here. You'll unlock this right here where we're just at. Then they will have you go and unlock the mod station, which is this one here. Then they would actually have you go and unlock the market, which is actually right up here. Then they're going to have you unlock the navigation system, which is this little round disc in the middle of your floor is your navigation system. Then they would have you unlock your codex. Then finally at the end there, they're going to end up having you unlock your foundry, which is how you build stuff. Those cards are going to show up between you activating this device and activating your cards over here. That's the missions that'll show up. You'll get all 3 of those cards within those first 2 to 3 missions. So it's not really that hard to get those. Now, as I said, all 3 frames you start with, oops, wrong button. All 3 frames you start with are the same way. You can run those same mods at the very beginning until you get to a point where, like my advice is, once you get to the point where you're past the intro of the game, you have everything on your ship opened up to you. Yeah, I was doing something over there. Basically, you're gonna start here on the Earth. That's where your first missions are gonna be. Once you get to this point right here, this mission right here, LITH, it's you go southwest to it. This mission right here is what's gonna get you those cards. And it's definitely going to get you the vitality. Instead of a 3-dot vitality flawed, you're actually going to get the upgraded version of the vitality that's non-flawed. And you'll be able to get that from there, along with the shield one, the redirection. And it can pop up there, steel fiber. But steel fiber does come up from the first couple missions you will do going in to the game. So you'll be able to get your cards pretty early on. Now, when it comes down to the other one, so let's say you've started the game and you weren't like me and you didn't pick Excal or Excalibur for the first frame. You actually picked Mag. So we'll click on Mag here. You picked Mag, right? Then you would definitely want to go, I keep forgetting about that. You want to put, crap. Let me just fix it real quick. I forgot to do this before the video, but again, I'm not always the brightest tool in the shed. That's a fatality. Hold on. There we go. Fatality. Okay. Now, again, she's 30, so she's going to have higher health than you. But as you look up here, though, she is 30, but only has 30. Why is that? It's because I do not have Oaken Reactor on her. Or Orkin Reactor. Or Oaken Reactor. One of the two. People will judge you on either way you say it anyhow, so. Because of the fact I really don't use Mag that often. I just got her because, you know, I wanted to own all the frames. And eventually, you know, play her and see how she does, you know, when you put her fully together. But again, you got high health up here. These red numbers mean nothing because of the fact these red numbers are from the other build. So let me go back out and back in so we can get rid of those red numbers. 65 health, 188, or, listen to me, 65 health. 65 armor, 188 power or energy. Depending on what game you come from, some people call it energy, some people call it power. 255 health and 510 shield. By adding these in there, you gain a little bit more. So you gain 40% more health and 40% more shield. That right there is going to get you started. Now, with her, on the other hand, you don't need steel fiber, because even with steel fiber, this is not going to move that much. I'll show you real quick. Even with the steel fiber in there, it's not going to move. The regular steel fiber that you'll get at the beginning takes it to 85. That's not helpful at all. So that I wouldn't even worry on mag. Because why would you just get additional 20%, you know, 20 points of armor when you really don't need it? So I would say go for stretch mod, which you do get early on as well, and you can throw that in right here to get a little bit of a boost on your abilities down here. So that'll give you a little bit of boost on your abilities. She is what's called a CC frame, or a crowd control frame. So that will help towards that. Volt, also really good frame. If you started out with him, he's a really good frame. I don't have the regular version of him anymore. I got rid of him when I got the Prime version. So I'll be rebuilding him again later. But this is the Volt, one of the starter frames. He is the Prime version, so he's not the actual starter frame. But like I said, I don't have the regular one anymore. We're going to go into here. Oh boy. Yeesh. Actually, I can just snap photo on this. Okay. He's another starter frame. I don't know which one to get rid of, though. That's the thing. Anyway, you can just do the same 3 mods. So let me just pull these mods off real quick, and I'll just reset them afterwards. But same routine with him. You can go down here. You can get redirection, and you can get vitality on him, and throw on stretch to gain a little bit more in stat wise for your abilities. So again, makes him a nice little strong frame. Granted, don't even worry about these over here. I just don't feel like taking them off and then putting them all back on. These you won't have at the beginning. These two right here you won't have at the beginning. Mine are crap anyhow because I just started them and just started getting those after a 3-week playtime. I just got these. So don't worry about those. But these 3 mods will also work on Volt as long with Mag. But once you start getting up there and you start getting mods you can actually keep these on for a little while, but then you can start going in and putting like a slim line. You can get a continuity, which is pretty early on. You'll be able to get the continuity. Oh, where is my continuity? Continuity. There we go. Well, I only have the high one. But anyway, you can get the continuity in there. You'll be able to get intensify pretty early on, so you can throw that in. And you can throw in, let's see, what other one? Actually, that's pretty much what you'll get at the beginning, that early on in the game. Those you'll get pretty early on. Ah, there we go. We wanted this one in there, actually. But there you go. That's a pretty early on build for the game. That's what Volt will eventually turn into, and Mag will do the same. The only one that won't look like this, about midway through, is going to be X-Scowl. Depending on how you run them, though. You can run them that way, or you can run them pretty much like a tanky build. But with him, it's all about the duration. With him, it's all about the duration of the blades. So the amount of damage your Exalted Blade doesn't really matter. It matters on the duration, how much times you can keep it out, the main duration, and the drain. Those are the two main things you got to focus on. Because the longer you can keep that sword out, the more damage you do. Or as you see what I built him to be, he's a tank. I built him with a real high health bar versus running this stuff. But with him, about midway through, let's say you get up to the point where you get, the ones I listed off earlier, which is slimline, stretch, continuity. Don't worry about the reds because it's just not the build I have going on. Continuity and intensify. Now if you look over here, all of his stats are now higher, all are in the green. And that's the main way to build X-Scowl. A little bit in the health, a little bit in the the shield, and then everything else goes into your building those green numbers. The drain, the range, duration, and damage. Or range, the duration, the effectiveness, the range, and the strength. So you got duration, effectiveness, range, and strength, or duration, drain, range, and damage. Whichever way you want to put it, those are the same four. Like this last ability here, it has both. Oh, it has everything actually. It has the duration, which is your effectiveness. Like it has a drain down there, so it has drain per second, which goes into efficiency. It has damage, which goes into strength, ratio or radius, which goes into range, and then duration, which goes, of course, duration. So the higher you build those up on that left side, the higher that number is going to get. But with me, I tend to not worry too much on that. Like I said, this is the build I run is right here. I do run a little bit higher in strength, but I really never use my abilities as X-Scowl other than blind. I blind enemies to help with the team, and every now and then I will use the radial javelin. So that's how that goes. But alright, that's enough for this vid. And if I missed any details, I'm sorry. Leave a comment, and I will get back to you as soon as possible.
If I may say. I'm about to call me an Uber.
You can't call an Uber. They banned the Uber.
I don't know if they running or not.
No, you can't. You can't call the Uber.
They might still be banned.
They are still banned.
Ah, well.